Hi, I'm Ali Porti, fashion and lifestyle journalist and editor of Zayla magazine. I've always been interested in biographies and in the stories of people's lives, basically listening to what stirs their souls. Welcome to the soulful side of life, where I let you in on some of my conversations with inspiring people from around the world in fashion, faith, entertainment, music, and entrepreneurship. These are conversations that stir the soul about people's journeys, about the ups and downs of life, and how they have overcome certain situations. I hope that these episodes will inspire your life in some way, so enjoy over a cup of something hot or on your drive to work. This is The Soulful Side of Life and can be found on Spotify Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. Alessandra De Tommasi is one of the entertainment industry's top journalists, writing for Vanity Fair Italia, Vogue Italia, Cosmopolitan Italia, and others. And you'll find her at the Cannes Film Festival, Venice Film Festival, Toronto, Zurich, Berlin, Monaco, and others in press junkets, sitting front row and asking the most intelligent of questions to actors and directors. Alessandra is a sharp thinker, but most importantly, she's a beyond kind person. Her heart is deep, and she's always in a happy mood, making the most stressful of days at a film festival a delight to see her. Born into a family of farmers in Lecce, Italy, she was destined to work in all things tobacco, but her teacher and an uncle could see that she was meant for the learned world, and she went to Rome on a university scholarship. Ale, as I call her, has sat down and interviewed some of film and TV's most renowned actors, from Scarlett Johansson, Tom Cruise, Cynthia Nixon, and Julia Roberts, and these are just a few names. In this interview, we talk about her journey from Lecce to, and I use air quotes, Hollywood, the hardships of being an entertainment journalist in these times, the exciting moments of the job, our private moment that we had with Leonardo DiCaprio and Casey Affleck, and no matter how stressful the industry can get, Ali explains why she wouldn't ever dream of doing anything else. So enjoy this podcast interview episode with Alessandra De Tommasi. Now, thank you for joining the podcast, Ale. I appreciate it.
I'm so honored and humbled by this invitation. I'm so eager to talk to you about our common field of expertise.
Yes. You're the nicest, I would say, journalist I've ever met, and the happiest journalist I've ever met in fashion, in film, in the music business. There's nobody like you because you're positive and you're happy, and it's amazing you've stayed this happy, nice person because the industry does not bring out happiness.
The
And
secret is pizza, because I'm from Italy, so
yeah,
pizza makes people happy. So I have
that's
a secret
true.
weapon. So,
That's true. The gelato and the pizza.
yes, the gelato, yes. Two secrets weapon, yeah. And you have to stay positive. Otherwise, what's the other option?
Yeah.
Complaining all day long. I mean, you can share your thoughts with other people, but if you put this stress on your shoulder all the time, you cannot get up in the morning and say, I have chosen this path
Yeah.
because I love it, because I
Yeah.
love to share what I think, what
Yeah.
I'm passionate about. So even when you cannot afford to stay sad, especially
Exactly.
in our field, because we talk about art, cinema, theaters, books,
Yeah.
travel.
And you have to be
This,
happy. And it's an exciting field, so we've got to find joy.
yeah.
So So the theme of this conversation is going to be about being a film journalist.
Yeah. Okay.
So before we get into what you do, you come from Bari, right?
Lecce.
Sorry,
It's a little bit southern.
Lecce.
Yes, 1 hour away, so you get very, very close.
I am so sorry. From Lecce.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
From a family of farmers.
Yes.
How
Yes.
does one go from a family of farmers to journalism, specifically film journalism?
Well, one word, scholarship. Because I come from a small village, and yes, I was the first person in my family to actually have a graduation, to go to high school even, because they were very, they cannot afford to go to school.
Yeah.
So basically, their plan for me were to be a seamstress,
Mm-hmm.
or to work in a tobacco company, because as a farmer there were the plantation of tobacco. So I remember when I was a child, but little, with these gigantic leaves, a gigantic needle, and you have to put the needle in all these leaves because they dry up, and then you go to the manufacturer and they make tobacco. So this was my destiny, this kind of work. But since I was 4 years old, I got a toy of a type machine, and I wanted always to write stuff, to tell stories. But in this village, there was nobody like me. Nobody has the same dreams. So I was an outcast. I was basically a loser, because everyone else had the priority. Any girls would get married to a rich guy, to a decent family. This was like the career. And I didn't want that career, but I didn't know any other option. So for the first time, when I was in middle school, my mother's biggest brother, went to one of my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He went and said, don't waste her passion. Help me to convince the family to do that.
Wow.
So especially my father, who passed away, he was very, very against it, because he said, no, what kind of career is journalist? Because of course they were practical people.
Yeah.
He was working in a train station. Journalism was something very abstract, very far away. But I don't know how, but it was this man-to-man talk. We women were excluded by the conversation, but this man-to-man talk was more or less like, okay, let's try. We don't give her money. If she gets any kind of support, good. Otherwise, she come back home. Okay. So I started during the holidays to work as a cleaning lady, to help the children with their homeworks, to help the senior people, to collect money. Of course, there were peanuts.
Yeah.
And I get thank you. Lazio is the area where Rome is. Rome is the capital of Italy, but also the capital of this region called Lazio. And they gave me for 5 years the full scholarship on 2 criteria. One, when you have low income, when you are from the low social class, and the second one with your grades.
Yeah.
So I graduated on top of my class, and it was totally it wasn't my destiny. I mean, my destiny was to be a farmer, a mother, and a wife, and to stay there. So I dare to imagine a future that I didn't know.
Yeah.
This future didn't have a name, because nobody I knew was in the field. So to me, everything was new. So
Yeah, you
So
were doing something out of the normal for someone from Lecce. Because I imagine there's not a lot of women in Lecce that left Lecce.
no, there not even was. I don't know in the US how it is, but there wasn't a course, a class of journalists in Lecce. That's the reason why I moved to Rome, because back then journalist was something too out of the reach. So I made an exam in order to enter the university and study journalism, and to me this was all. It was my everything. And during the years of the university, I've done a lot of jobs. So I remember studying on the stairs while waiting to the owner of the house I was cleaning to get me in. This kind of memory. But I actually I would do that 10 times more, 100 times more, you know, because there was not option.
Right.
This was my only happiness, my only goal.
The only option. Were you watching movies as a child in Lecce? Where did the love of cinema come?
There was one cinema in Lecce. I think my first movie was Titanic when I was 18 years old. Can you imagine that? In Lecce. But when I went to a great grand aunt, I watched my first movie at 13 years old, and it was called Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
So it was half live action, half cartoon, and to me it was an experience like, wow, okay. And then arrived Titanic. So it's on basically the television was, of course, a propriety of my father. So he watched Western or thriller.
Yes.
Noir. He loves movie like Ben-Hur, where people get killed in awful ways. So for a child, it was like not the best. But
he would have loved Tarantino, then maybe.
Yes, I think so. Yes, he would have loved Tarantino. I'm sure of it. The idea, to me, in my mind, that your word can be expressed in imaging was fascinating.
Yeah.
And so the route was not straight to movie critics. It passed through TV.
Oh.
When I graduated with an essay on TV series was considered like soap opera or something very B type of storytelling. And even the teacher that was assigned to help me with the essay has no idea what I was talking about. But and now there is no big screen, and and then a small screen, because all the A-listers come to the TV series, to the TV series, and now there is the streaming war. So our world is going bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of changes. Like TV is just as big. Streaming TV shows are just as big as movies.
You see, with the nominee for the Golden Globes, Netflix had 13 nominations. Was on top of all the other majors that back in the days were like the major players.
Yeah.
And now the streamers are the major players.
They are.
So there is not this distinction. So, and I got addicted to TV series basically because all these people on TV were living lives that were different than mine.
Yes.
Things I've never seen. I never traveled, so I cannot afford this kind of life. I didn't even know it exists. So it opened my horizons that actually this was possible. This was a world of possibilities, and my essay in the university, my final essay was a combination of how the young adults are impressed and they grow up changing their values according to the TV series. So this was the topic, because I was very fascinated of how this day-to-day appointment create this kind of relationship. Of course, now there is the binge watching. It's not a day-to-day appointment. It's just like a Christmas dinner all together.
Right,
Not
right.
a
Everything's and how does one, if somebody is wanting, because okay, a lot of people, when they look at your life or the life of a journalist who goes to Cannes, Venice, Zurich Film Festival, all these cool festivals, and you're getting to interview really cool celebrities, A-list celebrities, and they're like, wow, that life must be cool. I've had so many people say to me, wow, it's cool that you go to this fashion week or that you've met this or that actor. How did that happen for you? How does one become a journalist and a film world journalist?
First of all, these people is right. It is cool.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
It is cool, but to me, it is cool for one reason. When you talk or you spend time with people on top of their games,
yeah,
in sport, music, whatever, and they are the best in what they do. Wow, that's fulfilled to talk to these people. And
just like when you and I had our 2-3 minute moment with Leonardo DiCaprio.
It is true.
And that is cool. We're at a dinner at Cannes and the three of us are talking. I had to I was about to pass out and you had to pull me up to his chair. I wasn't going to do it. I was so scared. But it's cool because and I think my friends think I have a crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. It's not a crush. I have a star crush. He is at the top of his game crush.
Exactly.
He is the best actor, in my opinion, of all time.
Yes.
How do we get to do that? Yeah.
So, yes. So, these people is right, first of all. Second of all, now with social media, it's much easier to get in touch with the celebrities, because the old world of influencers, bloggers, gamers, YouTubers, and whatever we can, content creators, because they define themselves in many ways, they actually put their content online without any filter. They don't need a degree. But from one end, it's easier because, of course, you have the immediate way to connect to these people. That doesn't mean that you have the proper education to do this job, because this is a job. I mean, nobody could dream to be operated by a surgeon that has not studied medicine,
right?
Or be on a plane with a pilot that's just as an hobby. He loves, airplanes, but he doesn't know how it works, because in their line of work, this is not even an option. In our line of work, is from my perspective, the ideal for a young person. I feel so old.
No.
I feel so old saying that. I in my heart, I am a teenager still. But whatever age you have, and you have this desire to, let's say, to have a conversation, an interview, whatever we can call it, with a person, an artist that is on top of his/her their games, can actually build their own little world, because your Instagram page, your YouTube page is like your home, your home, where you invite people to join you in talking about the subject. So you can start doing that.
Yeah.
And many festivals, many events, they appreciate that. They encourage young people, especially, to join this event. Then when you have the opportunity, that actually today is very easier than 20 years ago when I started, you have to precious this opportunity, to take it very seriously, because it's not a game.
Yeah.
You cannot waste the time of these people, of any people on the planet. You have to accept the same social rules that you have in your home or within your community. You have to be respectful of the time, the space, even the physical space, because you have to be on a professional level, even if it is only your YouTube page.
Yeah.
And then you have to be resilient to pitch your idea to the magazines you want to work for, to start it for free, because I have done a lot of work for free, writing for free, but then I was cleaning the apartments, babysitting, trying to find the balance, because of course you have to pay your bills. It's not like like a fairy tale. And also I think it's a service. You are in service of this person, because now there is this misunderstanding that journalists or all the categories above, they are the stars. No. We are talking to these people on top of their games. This is their stories, not mine. We are not the center of the attention, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We serve the story. We serve the people what they want to tell you. That's the reason why my attitude is never pushy or aggressive, because I'm not pushy and aggressive in real life.
Right.
So I cannot force a person to spill the tea about something that they don't feel comfortable.
Exactly.
So my idea is, I remember at the university, during one of the class of journalists, one of my very, very old professor, it was, I'm talking about people that went to the war as the newspaper sent them to the war to cover the war. So this kind of people that were very tough, white old men, and he said, Alessandra, I tell you in Italian and then I translate. Alessandra, questa è un'intervista seduta. The translation is, Alessandra, my name. This interview is like you are seated, It's like when you are subordinated to the other person. You want to be pushy, to be, to get something at any cost. To me, no, because there is dignity, humanity, not at any cost.
Yeah.
There is a cost. Yeah. So, okay, maybe I like to be seated in an interview, in their world.
Yeah.
But we do so many compromises, but we cannot compromise our dignity. So, because as a freelancer, it means you are your brand, and you work for many outlets, but still remain a freelancer. The only valuable thing that you have is your name and your word.
That's
if
true.
If you break your word,
you're in trouble.
You're done. I mean, maybe not this time, maybe not the next time, but sooner or later.
What are the benefits of being a freelancer and writing for different publications, or just working and being a staffer under one house?
I have done both.
What's the benefit in the film industry, in the film journalism?
Yeah. Yes, always. Yes, it was always in the same industry. To me, it's connected to freedom. Because when you work within the company, you have a family, it's easier to have a 9 to 5 work, ideal. When you are a freelancer, you don't have any schedule. You don't know where you will be tomorrow. But most of the time you choose where you will be tomorrow. You have the power to say no.
Yeah.
It costs you, of course, because if you do not cover this event, another one is covering, and you lose your little spot, little of big spot. But the way I live life, for me, freedom is the most important value. To be free to decide my own destiny. Because I come from a part of Italy where, as a woman, you don't have to decide your destiny. And if you are coming to a poor family, poor, dignified, but not rich, absolutely, from working class, less than working class, you have no say on your destiny. The only way to raise up your position is to marry with money.
Yeah.
But
that's not the path you wanted to take. And I enjoy having the freedom. I would say a negative, as you alluded to, is that it doesn't pay well. And I think a lot of people think that when you're around this A-lister and this film festival, that you have such an exciting life, that you make a lot of money, that the publications are paying you a lot of money, or not even a lot of money, just enough to live comfortably. If people knew what I made, I think they would be like shocked. And then probably the next question they would ask is, why are you doing it then? Which is a whole nother conversation. But I like the freedom. I don't like the low pay. But being able to craft my life and make, the decision if I'm going to even go to this event or not is incredibly powerful. I mean, if this job paid at least the human level dignity that it should, this would be the dream job for sure. Over
it was like that 25, 30 years ago. It was like that because there were less media, less competitors, people.
The internet wasn't as big.
So it used to be like that. So that's the pro and cons of social media. But you have absolutely right, because anyone in the world should decide, should be the should be the protagonist of his own their story, like he was saying in a movie that I love, that's in English, I don't know, this is the one with the Cameron Diaz, L'amore non va in vacanza, or The Holiday.
Yes.
And Kate Winslet, the old screenwriter from Hollywood, said, you are the protagonist of your life. You should be.
You should be.
So everyone should be. But as women, we start our lives with the lesser power. So, and any minority you are from, they took away some piece of power. So, and I think that the real power is freedom. In our line of work is informations, because if you share information, that's very powerful.
Yeah, it's also very powerful. I'm finding I was at a music festival in Saudi recently, and I met a journalist from Spain, and she's been in the music journalism business for a long time. And she was saying that in Spain, if you don't come from a lot of money, then you have to work really hard. So she's had to work really hard, and she's built up good networks in the music business, but it's still not paying off. And she's now having to go to school again for like another career, because it's not paying off. One, this, what we just mentioned, the rise of the internet, it pushes down the ability to make money because of the competition, a lot of, yada yada yada. So,
and there is a very, sorry, Ellie, if I interrupt you, but there is a very very important thing. It's a very big issue. A journalist cannot be, in Italy at least, cannot be paid by the subject of the article. You only get paid by the editor. That means if I am going to a Tarantino movie, let's say, that's we are talking before about Tarantino. I cannot receive money from Tarantino to write a good review. No, because the freedom of the media is that the freedom of speech, that I am free to write whatever I think is good.
Yeah.
You cannot buy the voice. So that's a very important, because some people can ask why they don't pay you. No, they are not in charge of my payment.
Yeah.
So that's it's true. Your colleague from Spain is absolutely true, but I have done a lot of works, a lot of jobs. Sorry, I've done a lot of jobs. And I remember once we have this. I don't know if it's the same in the US. In every line of job, you can apply for a public
assistance.
No, a public place. Let's say a public library. In a place that is public, not private. I don't know if you have this thing. And the court of law is, of course, public. Yeah. So when I was in high school, I applied. After 10 years, I received a letter.
Yeah.
I can work in the court of law for 7 months. I have learned a lot about humanity. I had a lot of privilege. It was a night 8 to 3 p.m. So but I was so miserable in this day, in these months, because it wasn't my place. Maybe a smarter person, it was a contract for 7 months. I could decide to stay more. Hypothetically speaking, would I be back and work them there forever?
Yeah.
No, because you cannot wish for you to be sad for life. You know?
Yeah.
I know that it sounds very idealistic, but when there is a moment where you connect with the person you are talking to, let's say an artist or a director, screenwriter, or some composer or designer, stage designer, etc. When we talk and you find kindred spirits, persons that breathe the same ideals that you have, that makes my day.
Yeah,
you know,
it does.
It's like the 0%, let's say 1% of everything, of the package.
And that's why you say probably at the end of the day, this is why I got into this job.
Yeah. It's like when you fall in love with something, with someone. First, it's very difficult to describe because some qualities that you find attractive to other people are like, what? Anyway. And secondly, it's difficult from the outside to understand why do you sacrifice that much for something that doesn't make you rich.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's difficult for the outside, but for me, there is no option.
Yeah.
It's my love.
Exactly. There's no other option. Who's the most exciting person you've interviewed when it comes to an actor?
Because usually the most interesting are the directors, because they are writers, because they have ideas.
Right.
Because I don't know if you are aware, but in our field, the cast, most of the cachet that they received for a movie, for a project, let's say, TV series, is because of the promotion. You are paid to do press conference and interviews. And of course, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So before they start doing this tour of interviews, they are briefed by the company on what to say, what not to say, how not to get in trouble. Usually, they have a media coach that navigates. Because usually the actors, if you think about it, if they are not motivated enough, they just are paid to read line.
That's true.
it was very, I'm simplifying the word, but a screenwriter is a person that put the
Yes, it's
words
their
in
idea.
their
It's
mouth.
yes, yeah.
They are super smart. One of the screenwriter slash director I loved more is J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
He started from TV and then he's done Star Wars, Star Trek, and so on. Is because he founded this production company that's nerd as you can be. So it's super pop, and this on a human level is fascinating because I remember when he went in Rome in 205 for Mission Impossible,
Mm-hmm.
to Impossible 3, and it was a round table. It means there were a table with 6 or 7 journalists. He arrives, and to each and every one of us say, "Hi, I JJ. I wanted to hug so much."
Oh, that's so
because
nice.
he was so respectful, so lovely,
And
so nice.
personal.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise, of course, was the
Yeah, you told me Tom Cruise is great.
He's called the Prince of Hollywood because he spent, I don't remember how many hours he spent in the square talking to people, standing there,
Yeah.
hugging people. It was before the social media. So he didn't need to do that because he wasn't nobody was recording.
Yeah.
Because he liked to speak with people, and he still does.
Yeah.
So that's make a difference. Sometimes, for instance, his ex-wife, Katie Holmes, I think she might have some kind of social anxiety because when she was in Batman Begins, she went to Rome with the cast, and during the press conference she kept drinking water, and she was so anxious, of course, because she was the fiancée of Tom Cruise back then. But I think I have seen her in other events, and she's just shy. She doesn't like to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because it's rude. Just because she's made that way.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's difficult when you met them to divide the human person and the professionist.
Yeah.
If you are a fan of their job,
exactly.
and you expect so much from them, and you want it to be them to be care, to take care of the passion that you have, the time you involve in their projects.
Yes, for sure. And it's amazing to me, an actor, you see their dynamic characters on the big screen, but then when you meet them in person, they could be the complete opposite. There was an actress, I won't say her name, but we had met her at the dinner that first year I met you, and she was being honored, and she's very reserved. It was,
yes.
And I was a little bit like trying to make conversation or standing there in front of her, and she's very reserved and pulled back.
You understand that they are uncomfortable, and it's make me uncomfortable when I understand that we have to play.
Exactly. Okay, so 2 last questions. For somebody who's wanting to go into journalism, entertainment journalism, what advice would you give them?
First, on a human level, you have to be resilient. You have to understand that there can be a lot of no, but you cannot take a no as an answer on a human level. And then you have to be prepared. You have to be ready. You cannot do that by improvisation. Okay, there are tons of people that it seems to do very well by being famous without any talents. If you can afford it, good for you. I mean, if you are rich, this is an hobby, good for you. Otherwise, study, see, learn from the best. Don't watch the laziest in your field. Watch the most talented. But the talented is all talents are given, but there are talents that you cultivate. So both.
Okay.
You learn the rule to write a good article,
Yeah.
and then you can break it from time to time, because you are a little artist, but you have to know the rules in order to break it.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents of advice. And before starting this career, ask yourself if you want to be the center of the story, or if you want to tell the story. And that's something Robert De Niro said when he has very dark sense of humor. So he said that he watched an accident, like a car crash, and if your first reaction is, how can I film it in order to be the best shot?
Yeah.
You are a director. If you feel like the person in the car, you probably are an actor, the perspective. So it's the same thing. You want to be interviewed, or, you want to tell your story, or you want to tell other people's story. That's should be another issue. The last thing, you have to decide what is your priority, because your way of life will potentially involve other people. Yeah. So if you like, I want to be a travel journalist, movie journalist, whatever. But other people have to suffer because you relocate so often. You are not at home on Christmas. Decide what is your priority. There is not right or wrong way. Yeah. If you don't harm other people. And I don't even have a golden fish. I'm very bad even with plants and better not have a pet, because I'm very I forget stuff, so it's not. But nobody suffer if I decide to skip Christmas in order to work. Right, and that's a very big point. This, because because entertainment, movie business is not only the movie itself. Let's say Killer of Flowers to acquaintance DiCaprio is also the industry. It's mostly the industry, the show business. It means that if, for instance, a big actor, a release dies the day of Christmas, you get up from your seat, open your laptop and write about it, because you have to do that. You know what I mean? This is also part of the game, of the show business. Yeah. It's not only the movie. There are a lot of, for instance, I don't remember because I forget name. The Marvel actor that was not even convicted. That was someone says that he had the bad behavior and he was fired, like Johnny Depp before him. Right. Okay. This is not about a movie for sale. It's about the human being, not the profession. But you have also to write sometimes about this stuff as well. So the movie business doesn't imply only movies, but all the show business. So which is your priority? Are you able in your conscience to label as a monster a person who didn't have a trial, right, and is already fired? Yeah. For instance, just to make an example. Yeah. I hear you. So those are very important things to keep in mind. Also needing to keep in mind that it's a very tough industry now. It's becoming more narrow. So to find work is difficult. To find publications, top publications that are willing to let you write is tough. So you have to keep that in mind. Is it worth it, the low pay? All of these things are factors. Yeah. That you have to keep in mind. If you cannot live without it, let's start your little brand. I remember one of my favorite TV journalists, Michael Ausiello, created his own website, and then he sold it, and then created the stuff, and then he sold it, and then first he was in a company, then he created this little website, and then it was so good that, like, just Jared, for instance, and then he had the team, and then this is an option. It is the exception.
Yes.
Because for one Michael Ausiello, there are 100 that are unheard and unseen. But it's true that he is an incredible talent, an incredible human being.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's exceptional because he deserved to be exceptional. Now he wrote a book, and he wrote a movie with G. Parsons, and I think in English, in Italy is not released yet because of the strike, so we have some late release. I think that in English the name is spoiler alert, the hero dies.
Oh, wow.
So, he's Michael Ausiello. So he's like the actors. There is one DiCaprio. There are but
many more. Yeah.
If you have one chance out of 100, I will take it.
Yes, it's worth it.
If it's zero, okay, but if it's just one, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool industry. It's a lot of exciting moments. It's a lot of downs as well. But if, as you said, you cannot live without it, then it's worth it. It will be a wild journey. And you'll have a lot of cool stories.
The fun thing is that yesterday this morning I was talking to Pedro Alonso from Money East, and when in between there was this Zoom conference with the Oppenheimer cast, and after that I fired my pre-cooked pizza. I burned. So in the same days, you can talk to Robert Downey Jr. and in 5 minutes later you burn your dinner. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. What a story.
You can be glamorous as you want, but
yeah.
So that's super funny because
things
are cool.
Or Allie, you could be talking with Leo, I and Leo, or you could be leaving a gala party, and then Casey Affleck comes up to you out of the blue to just stand there, and you're like, yeah, we were like, hi, Casey.
Hi, stranger.
Yeah. And the only thing I knew to say was, I can't believe I said it. I adored you in Manchester by the Sea. Like, who says that?
And maybe in the same time in the same day you skipped your lunch because you had no time,
Exactly.
You had no time to, so it's all part of the game. I mean, I feel it's very a metaphor of life.
It is.
The up and down.
The up and down, yeah. It's exciting.
And then you burn your pre-cooked pizza.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly, you never know what I can burn.
Yeah.
I think not the apartment, because the
gosh.
burn just things that are in the oven and not the oven. So.
Exactly.
And so I put on in my Instagram, both things. I mean, the interview and the pizza, the burn pizza.
Yeah.
Because I will be a fancy. I'm not a fancy person, so I never can be a fancy journalist. Maybe sometimes I can write fancy words, but it's because of the people I'm talking to. I'm the one who burns pizza.
The pizza, yeah.
Not really.
Yes, we should make a movie about you, because we would always be laughing.
It would be a sitcom.
Yes, it would.
Yes.
It would not be a thriller or a noir.
No, like an Amy Schumer kind of movie, Bridget Jones kind of movie.
Yes.
Based on a real story.
Based on a real story.
I have the proof of the palm pizza, yes.
Yeah.
So absolutely based on the true story.
You would get the Palme d'Or and at least an Oscar nomination.
Yeah. For what? Just for being so.
Yes. For being nice
Clumsy.
and kind and moving forward through an industry that's narcissistic and egotistical and with
Yes.
many great memories in between all of that. So, yeah. But thank you so much for joining the podcast and for sharing your
You've been so
thoughts.
lovely with my goofiness and my clumsiness, because in Italy now it's dinner time and my
Yeah.
English got very, very messy, messier than usual. But it was lovely talking to you and just share this love,
Yeah.
infinite love for what we do, despite everything.
Despite everything. So, yeah, this has been a joy.
Yes, it is.
I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode and that you have found a soulful connection to the conversation. God bless you, and until the next episode, go bless somebody else.